Hey everybody, it's Saints Fan Reactions, and this is my review of Season 1 of Russian Doll. Sorry it took me a while. I mean, maybe it didn't take me a while. Some of you are just finishing up. I would have done this a couple days ago, but I've been trying to get a solid copy of all 8 episodes up. If you've been watching me, you've noticed that more than half the episodes have gotten pulled. I've had to go back in and re-edit them. If you've been subscribing and you've get notifications, you will have noticed episode 1 goes back up, then it's down, then 8 goes back up, then it's down, then 7. I think I've gotten 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8 banned. Leaves 3. I don't even know if I just got lucky with those, or maybe because there was less going on in those. I don't even know. I never even paid attention enough to figure that out. If you guys rewatched the first edit of episode 1, people were like, dude, I can't hear it. I am aware, but I had to lower the audio all the way down, and that was what I thought made me get away with it the second time. I've watched Angry Joe, people like that, they say a lot of the time it's songs that trigger it. I always see Angry Joe as like, oh great, I hope I don't get copyrighted, and he'll be like, ah, ga, 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 and scream over the song, hoping for not a copyright ban. So I'm thinking it's that. I went through, cut all the songs out. Nothing. It still gets banned. Then I go out, lower the audio. Thought it was okay. It still got banned. But I'm like, maybe it's like key scenes. Like scenes that were in the trailers or like big moments in the show. I don't know why. I don't even know if it's right. Maybe it's not triggering the audio or the music because one of the bans just was like video content. Some say audio visual. Some say monetization. This said video problem. So I'm like, and it didn't give me where. It just said most of them give you like a frame of reference. Nothing. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find the most iconic scene in this episode and just pull out like 5 seconds from it. I did, and they all worked. So I don't know if I'm a genius or I'm just luckiest guy ever, but I literally went through, and don't quote me on this because I don't want people to go, that's all I got to do. And then like the Saints reaction guy is a liar. I don't know. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe there is something in the background that I didn't hear or see. But all I know is I went through all the episodes that got banned after hours of frustration and re-editing, pulled out like little scenes. And it's not even like a major thing's missing. It's just like one of the scenes might cut weird. It might, instead of having a steady flow, it might just have like an abrupt cut. If you see that, I'm not a horrible editor. I just had to do that and it worked. So right now I'm happy because all the videos are up. I'm almost afraid to look at my phone because every time I get a notification, I think it's a ban. But right now, no bans. It is February at 11 o'clock on February 7th. February 7th, 11 o'clock. No bans. So right now we're solid. I got all the episodes up. Feel free to go back and watch and comment. These are my theories of the episode and my feelings of the episode before I talk to everybody, because I have talked to dozens of people at length about this. My theory before I talked to anybody was that either Nadia, well, I guess Alan in that case too, that they were doing like a Bill Murray type repetitive day, but taking a little out of Stephen King's The Langoliers somewhat, or the Neverending Story with The Nothing. The world was slowly getting sucked away. So each time she died, a little more was gone. And each time she died, it would magnify that much more. So like maybe the first time it was stuff as little as a pair of sunglasses that I noticed missing from a guy's face on the second loop. Just by coincidence, while I was editing, noticed that. I thought in the beginning, I was thinking, that was weird. What, did they forget to put his sunglasses on? I should have known better that it's a time reference movie and that'd be a silly mistake. But then as things started disappearing, I'm like, oh my God, it's been happening since day one. If you go back, you'll actually see people not smoking cigarettes, people that had glasses in their hands, not having glasses, like glasses to drink from. You'll see like different people randomly moving, different people doing different things. Some guy pointed out to me, his name is Scott McKenzie. You can't see his comment because they pulled the video where every one of my subscribers and me were chatting at no end. There's like 70 comments and ongoing theories that we were talking about, all gone because when they stripped my video, all the comments went with it. If one of you knows a way, I still have the videos in front of me, but only I could see them. If one of you knows a way that I could take the comments and move them to the new video? I would love to know. I doubt there's a way, but that'd be amazing because so many of us had amazing conversations and I can't show you guys. I can see them and I'm going to read them to you in a bit, but I just hate that we can't talk more about the stuff we were talking about. So if any of you know a way I could move the comments to another page or at least just post them or something, I'd like to do that. I'm just not very familiar with it. I started YouTube 2 weeks ago, learned everything from editing to this all on the fly. So I think I advanced pretty far. While I'm on that topic, I need to give a huge thank you to American Mom. One of the reasons I have more than half the subscribers I have right now, even though it's still not a great deal, but I appreciate everything. I appreciate everyone. When I had 20 subscribers, they were probably all my friends and family, and I still was pumping out content because I just have fun doing this. I reached out to her. I emailed her. I said what I was doing, starting off with The Wire and doing this on a binge one night, and she got right back to me and was extremely nice. And I've been watching her for years, as long as she's been around. I want to say like 3 or 4 years, maybe. I don't know if she's been around that long, but whenever she started, I started watching her. And Lost was what got me hooked. Huge fan of Lost. I'll do another video for that another time, but very similar to my feel on the finale of this as it was for Lost. I'll get into that later. But American Mom, thank you so much. I asked for a shout out on her channel. She didn't give me a shout out. She, like the next day, went and edited a bunch of my videos together, showed the evolution of my progress over the course of my first week, which was pretty quick. I didn't make that video. The video that she has on her site, she edited all together to show what I've done. I think that is amazing, and I thank her to no end that she took her time to do that. I never even thought she'd email me back. Not that she's not a good person or something. Just she's got 100,000 subscribers. What are the odds she'd see my email? I literally was like, why am I even doing this? I think I had a little too much to drink that night. And I was just like, here you go. And the next morning there was a response. And she, the next day, did that video. And then an hour later, my subscribers tripled or quadrupled or whatever. So I just think that's amazing that someone would help someone that they don't even know. Like, didn't even dig into me, like my past or whatever. Like, I could have been just some waste of time, like not like, oh, could you help me out? And then like the next day I stopped doing YouTube videos. But I really enjoy this and I really plan on trying to give it my all. So I really appreciate that she took her very important time. So I thank her with all my heart and just wanted to get that before I forgot. I put it on the Russian Doll. I'm going to do another thank you on The Wire in case you only watch this, but I have a lot to thank her for. So thank you, American Mom. Back to Russian Doll. This is what I thought before I talked to everybody and I saw the finale. This is before the finale. Up to episode 7, I thought that the flowers wilting, the fruit rotting, people and items slowly disappearing, and then at the end rapidly disappearing, I thought it was following the flow of The Langoliers from Stephen King or The Nothing from The Neverending Story, and time was eating away at them. So each time they relived their life, as opposed to Bill Murray's Groundhog Day, where he had the same day and just had to figure it out eventually after hundreds of attempts. I don't know if you've seen that video, but hundreds, if not thousands of attempts. In this case for Russian Doll, they were on like a time restraint. Like the longer you take, the more goes away until eventually you will just zap out of existence and you're done. That's where I thought it was going. Or that they were already dead, chaos ensues. Don't really have to go much into that. Everyone probably thought that at one point or another, or still think that they're dead. I think a lot of the theories I saw, I'm not against them. I kind of agree with it, or at least that was my original solid theory. But that was my original theory going up to the finale. I thought from episode 1 through 7, I adored this show. I marathoned it like I did because I couldn't get enough. I was like, this is awesome. Artisticness of it. The music was insanely good. Never heard any of the songs before, but it had like almost like a Mr. Robot, like retro punk kind of, like not pop, punk kind of feel. But the music was killer. It reminded me of like almost like a Stranger Things mixed with Mr. Robot. I don't know. Awesome soundtrack, which is probably why I had so much struggle with the editing and the banning, because a lot of it was probably music. But amazing all the way up to 7. Now, I don't hate on the finale. I just don't like when people throw all this stuff at you, like rotting fruit, people disappearing, her mother's crazy, what's her Aunt Ruth steal, her friends, and this guy Mike, and blah, 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 blah. And then it's all summed up in one episode as they just started like a whole new thing. They literally, like episode 8, they wake up and Alan and Nadia are in different alternate dimensions and they don't know why. And everything we saw prior doesn't matter. In my mind, everything from 1 to 7 had no like relevance in the finale. The only thing that we got from it was we have seen the different forms of Alan and Nadia, but we'd never, like, anything they established from 1 to 7 is thrown out the window when 8 starts, because they're in alternate realities. And we are led to believe throughout 1 through 7 that the one constant is Alan and Nadia are die together, wake up together, die together. That is the rule. I am very big on rules. If you tell me the color blue is black, then I'll believe it if that's a rule from episode 1. And you're like, you just got to remember that blue is actually black in this. I know blue's not black, but I'll believe it. You can't tell me for 7 episodes that this is the constant, and then the finale, which is only 30 minutes, you just flip the whole thing on its end and tell me, oh, well, now they're in alternate realities, and everything else that you were theorizing about doesn't matter. Now, someone told me their theory was they did that on purpose because they wanted you to be theorizing and then in the end be like, yeah, where'd your theories go? Out the window? Yeah, because none of that matters. That's the point. If that's the case, all right, I dig it. But I don't think that's the point. If it is, then kudos to you, show, because that blindsides me, and I like a good blindside. But I don't think that's what they were doing. I think they just wanted to be artsy and be like, we don't have a whole lot to sum this up, a whole lot of time to sum this up, so we're just going to do what we got to do in the final episode, and I hope you like it. Or they are planning on a season 2, which I am assuming they're going to make because I think this is doing successful. So they're just going to do a season 2 and then make sense of everything else and tie it all together. If they do that, awesome as well. But if this is it, and that was the conclusion, I'm not okay with that. Just like I said with Lost. To me, Lost is the greatest thing of all time, media-wise. Movies, songs, music, television, everything. Lost to me is the greatest. From the characters, to the actors, to the music, to the plots, to the craziness that like they all tied together in flashbacks, stuff like that. Absolutely insane. I love time stuff, as this is like a time travel, time whatever kind of movie. Lost was that, because they could alter things. They like, not to spoil Lost if you haven't seen it, but it has elements of time, big time, especially with Desmond, favorite character probably in the history of television. Not to go on a rant, but like that, this finale to me was a letdown. In the finale of Lost, they just dropped 80% of what went on for 6 seasons and were like, here's your conclusion, and I'm okay with the conclusion. But what about everything else that you established? What about Walt? What about, like, Lance Reddick's character? He was thrown in it all the time. They never explained why he was even there. Walt had a season dedicated to him and then never showed up again. Granted, he got older, but figure something out. Sorry to go on rants, but this gave me a similar feel. It was like so much thrown at you that could have been thrown together in an epic way in a finale to make sense. And instead, they just threw it out the window kind of, and like whatever, unless I'm missing something. But people are saying like, oh, well, the disappearing people and the dying fruit and the flowers was them dying inside. And it wasn't so much as the world going away as it was them dying inside because they weren't finding their way or something like that. I kind of get that too. Sometimes people could go a little too deep in shows, and it's not like I'm dumb and I don't understand that. I just feel like if you're going to go that angle, you need more than 8 20-minute episodes to do that. You need like ongoing, or like I said, if there's a season 2, then I get it. Those were my theories up until when they went under the bridge, and then you see the Nadias, and then there's 2 coming this way. and two Allens, and then her and Alan, and then the Nadias, and then all the screens merge and all the Nadias are together and stuff. That I'm okay with, even though obviously that wasn't reality. It's like they're showing multiple versions of the two main characters, Alan and Nadia. Or was that real? And they all did. I'm assuming that was like an artsy way of ending the show because that's like the final scene. But I don't know with the show. It could be anything. They could be like, no, we were being real. There are 3 Nadias and 3 Allens now in this world. Begin season 2. Like, I seriously doubt that, but who knows? So based on that, those were my theories. I'm going to read you my favorite theories from the comments. Now, I apologize to the people that have spent their valuable time conversing with me on all these comments and stuff because the finale episode got pulled an hour ago. So only I could see our comments and conversations. I re-edited and reposted episode 8, the finale, so you can watch it now, but none of the comments will appear there. So I still have access to it. I'm going to read you some of the people, some of their names, give them credit, and my favorite ones at the end. So first off, we got Marcel Polenz. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's Polenz. He says, both of them, Nadia and Alan, confronted their inner demons in episode 7. Nadia, through talking with Ruth about her mother, giving the little girl the book that gave her strength in her hardest time and letting go of the sad little girl inside of her. And then Alan, through being honest with Beatrice and admitting his shortcomings and physiological issues for the first time. Basically, that broke their loop, sending them back to the first night to try to prevent each other from dying in the first place. So his theory is that they basically pulled a Bill Murray, where they had to learn how to make everything good in life, and then once they did, they are sent back to to the beginning to save the worst version of themselves, so to speak, or the dying version of themselves, I guess, which I guess is the worst version of yourself if you're dead. So that's an interesting theory. I didn't go down that road, but that was an interesting theory. And if I misinterpreted Marcel, I apologize, but I think I got the gist of it. K-Blitz, K-B-L-I-X-T. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. By using the dual timelines, we get to see just how far both characters have progressed. By allowing the strong versions of themselves to help the other, it reminds us of how far they've come. We see how they are at the start of their journey in stark contrast with the changes. So he basically is on the same wavelength as Marcel, saying that they whole 7 episodes was them learning from their mistakes, and episode 7 was them finalizing it. If you look at it that way, then I would actually dig it more. If that is the actual explanation, then I dig it more, because then 1 through 7 doesn't matter because they learn from their mistakes and none of that matters because it's in the past and they just got to help themselves. So that actually makes me feel better about the ending if that's true. But I think it's a great resolution and a great theory, but I don't agree with that one. That's not my favorite. The next one is not necessarily a theory, but this guy, Scott McKenzie, said, just watched again the other day to see if I missed any more Allens and spotted something else. The Nadia trying to save Alan ended up wearing a white blouse because of the drink thrown by Maxine. The Alan trying to save Nadia from Mike got the red neck scarf at the party. They end up together in the final scene. The realities merge. So I didn't catch that. I watched this through several times. I've seen people missing glasses, people missing actual wearing glasses, people missing cigarettes, people actually missing. I never caught that. In the very end scene, he's saying that I did see that Alan. The Alan he's speaking of is coming at us when Nadia walks under the bridge and like jumps up, throws his fist in the air. He's like, in my mind, the most advanced of the Allens. Party animal Alan. But I never noticed he's wearing the scarf. Basically, the Allens from different realities we've seen sort of merge, but some are elevated, I guess, like that. All I know is that was a very awesome observation. One of them that I missed. I'm sure there's hundreds in there, so I'm sure we've all missed a bunch, but that was one I missed. Scott McKenzie, very cool. This one, I apologize. I don't know the name of this person because honestly, their comment isn't on the finale conversations. So they must have said this to me privately or in another episode. I looked everywhere and I can't find it. It's very possibly in one of the episodes that got pulled and it doesn't exist anymore, because a lot of them I just delete because no sense of keeping them up. But this I saved specifically because of all the conversations I had with people. I'm sorry I can't say your name. If you are watching this, which you probably will because we conversed, and you probably watched the video. If we conversed about it, you'd probably want to see what I say. So if you were the one that said this, tell me in the bottom. I'll remember your name so I'll know if you're lying or not, but tell me in the bottom and I'll give you credit. They said that what if at the end of episode 7, when Nadia was regurgitating the glass shard, he said, what if that's because Nadia was already dead this whole time? I don't know if he meant at like an earlier age, like as a little girl with her mother, or earlier or later on because of her mother. That's where I'm unclear. I don't think we talked about that, but he could explain or she could explain. Basically said that because of the trauma she experienced from her mother being a lunatic and constantly smashing mirrors. And if you remember, the first thing we noticed openly that disappeared was the mirror in the bathroom, that the mirrors had a strong connection with Nadia because of the fact her mother always smashing them. There was always glass laying around, that perhaps, I believe what they meant is the child Nadia ate the glass out of like anger and being upset of always being in that situation where her mother was ruining her life and traumatizing her, that maybe the child Nadia or the older Nadia killed herself by consuming glass. And in episode 7, it was representing that by her spitting it up. And I forget who it was. I think it was like the image of little Nadia speaking to her saying like, it's still inside you. Maybe like I took it as she was spitting up the glass because she was spitting up what was paining her inside. But this person said maybe she was actually dead because she ate the glass, and that was her realizing she had eaten glass and died, and that's what created her death in episode 7. I find that very interesting. But then in episode 8, that kind of all goes out the window because it starts over where they're in different loops again. But I really did find that interesting, and I want to hope that there's more involved with that. But if you were the one that said it, please write down below, comment or something, let me know. As far as my favorite one, my subscriber, JM Nightshade, he said, I think Oatmeal, the cat, is actually Schrodinger's cat. Now, when I first heard that, my first thing that came to my mind was it was a joke. Like maybe Schrodinger was a guy from a show I never saw. Hey, maybe it's Schrodinger's cat or something like that. I thought it was like an inside joke that I didn't get. And I'm like, I've seen a lot of stuff. I never heard that in my life. Then it goes to the point where I've seen tens of thousands of movies in my life. So much media. I read so much stuff. I've never heard of Schrodinger's cat. If you have, well, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I looked it up. And basically what it is in my mind, it is similar to J.J. Abrams' What's in the Box. Whereas when he puts well, I'm going to tell you what Schrodinger's cat is. So basically Schrodinger's cat is if you took a cat and you put it in a box and you sealed the box, you won't know if the cat is dead or alive till you open the box. But you're not allowed to open the box. From what I got by hearing that, in the beginning, if you remember my reactions, I thought Oatmeal was the cause. Not what he's saying. I didn't think it was Schrodinger's cat because I didn't even know what that was. But I thought Oatmeal was creating the deaths. Because in episode 1 and 2, both times she was dying or whatever she died, the cat was around. So I thought the cat was significant in her deaths in a different way. But now I think what he's saying is like Oatmeal Schrodinger's cat. Basically, it's representative of what Nadia and Alan are, also in boxes where they either live or they die, but they just keep reliving the same day and we don't know if they're alive or dead. They're in a box. So they're all in boxes, and Oatmeal represents that because of Schrodinger's cat is being the analogy here. That is what gives us the connection that Nadia and Alan are actually in a box, so to speak. Schrodinger's cat, there is no right or wrong. There is no alive or dead. They're just reliving the same day, and it's basically a very artistic metaphor. But I found that to be the most intriguing. Because if you really think about all the episodes as a whole, and an episode 1 through 7 having nothing to do with 8, it stays consistent with that theory. His name is JM Nightshade. Props to him. Never heard of it before. Learn something new every day. Thank you to him. He has my favorite theory. Honestly, I'm pretty sure they're going to make a season 2. I'm pretty sure this is doing very successful. I don't see why they wouldn't. I thought the music was phenomenal. Had like a Stranger Thing, 80s retro punk kind of vibe. All the music was phenomenal. I love the actors. The girl, I forget her name, I apologize. The girl from American Pie that plays Nadia plays the same role in most of the stuff I've seen her, but plays it to a T. Like, perfect actress for the role. Everyone was great. Alan was great as like an uptight, like anxiety-stricken kind of fella. Mike was a great douchebag. John was a great, like, I will love you till the day I die, even if you treat me like shit boyfriend kind of guy. But a sweetheart. Maxine was awesome. Lizzie was awesome. Everyone was great. And I love any kind of show that has to do with time travel. If I missed anything, let me know. I apologize if the videos keep getting taken down. I'm trying my best. I explained it in the beginning. So bear with me. If it happens, I am not a quitter. I will keep putting them up until I have no other options. I appreciate you watching with me. Like and subscribe. And if you got any comments or things I missed or want to say, and if I missed that one person who came up with that glass scenario, let me know about it. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Saints fan reactions, and I'll see you next time. Peace.